Hey Gemini, welcome back to another reading. I just sat down with my cards, and I have to tell you, the energy coming through for you right now is really something special. You know those moments when you shuffle the deck and you can just feel that the universe has something important to say? This is one of those times. I pulled 10 cards for you today, and honestly, each one builds on the last in such a beautiful way. This is not just a regular reading. This feels deeply personal. Like the cards are speaking directly to your situation, your doubts, your questions, and what is coming through is that someone in your life is about to clear up so much confusion for you. But let me not get ahead of myself. Let me show you what the cards revealed. So I shuffle the deck 3 times. I set the intention specifically for Gemini energy. And the first card that comes out is the King of Swords. Now let me tell you about this card because when it shows up in this position, it is never random. The King of Swords represents someone with incredible mental clarity. Someone who cuts through the nonsense and speaks pure truth. This is a person who values honesty above everything else, someone who communicates with precision and intelligence. What is fascinating about this king showing up first is that he represents either you stepping into this energy or someone coming into your life who embodies these qualities. This is not someone who plays games, Gemini. This is not someone who speaks in riddles or leaves you guessing. The King of Swords is direct. He is clear. He is honest even when the truth might be uncomfortable. And for you, someone who lives so much in the realm of ideas and communication, having this energy present is absolutely crucial right now. I want you to think about the conversations you have been having lately, or maybe the conversations you have been avoiding. The King of Swords is telling me that there is a need for absolute clarity in your communication. No more half-truths, no more saying what you think people want to hear, no more dancing around the real issues. This card is pushing you toward radical honesty, both with yourself and with others. And here is what is really interesting. When the King of Swords appears, it often means that someone is going to come forward with information that changes everything. Someone has clarity that you have been missing, and they are ready to share it with you. This person, whether it is a romantic interest, a friend, a colleague, or even a part of yourself, has been observing, analyzing, and processing. They have reached conclusions, they have made decisions, and they are ready to communicate them. For some of you, this might be someone who has been quiet or distant suddenly coming forward with complete transparency about their feelings or intentions. For others, this might be your own mental clarity finally cutting through all the confusion and doubt you have been experiencing. The King of Swords does not waste time with emotional manipulation or playing on your insecurities. This energy is about truth, plain and simple. And sometimes truth can feel harsh, it can feel cold, but ultimately it is what sets you free. You cannot make good decisions based on false information or unclear situations. The King of Swords brings the gift of clarity, and even if that clarity reveals something you were not expecting, it is exactly what you need right now. Now, the second card I pulled is the Queen of Cups, and oh my goodness, the contrast between these two energies is so beautiful. After the mental clarity and direct communication of the King of Swords, we have this deeply emotional, intuitive, and nurturing energy. The Queen of Cups is the most emotionally intelligent card in the entire deck. She feels everything. She understands the emotional undercurrents that other people miss, and she responds with compassion and wisdom. What this tells me is that while clarity and truth are important, they need to be balanced with emotional intelligence and empathy. The Queen of Cups is showing me that you or someone close to you has deep emotional wisdom. This is someone who can hold space for complex feelings, someone who does not judge or dismiss emotions but instead honors them. This queen knows that feelings are valid even when they are complicated or contradictory. For those of you in romantic situations, the Queen of Cups often represents a deeply caring person who is emotionally available and ready to connect on a profound level. This is someone who wants to understand your heart, who wants to know what you feel, not just what you think. And for Gemini energy, which can sometimes live so much in the head, this is such an important balance. You need both the clarity of the King of Swords and the emotional depth of the Queen of Cups. What I am seeing here is that the conversation or revelation that is coming is not going to be cold or detached. Yes, there will be honesty and clarity, but it will be delivered with emotional sensitivity. This person, or this energy within you, understands that truth needs to be communicated with care. You can be honest without being cruel. You can be direct without being harsh. And the Queen of Cups knows exactly how to do this. I also want to point out that the Queen of Cups is highly intuitive. She trusts her emotional guidance system. She pays attention to how things feel, not just how they look on the surface. So if you have been having gut feelings about a situation, if your intuition has been trying to tell you something, The Queen of Cups is validating that. Your emotional intelligence is one of your greatest gifts right now, and you need to trust it. Sometimes what feels true is more accurate than what appears logical, and this Queen understands that balance. The third card is the Tower, and I know. When people see the Tower, they immediately panic. But listen to me carefully. The Tower is not the disaster card that everyone thinks it is. Yes, it represents sudden change. Yes, it represents structures falling apart. But it represents structures that needed to fall apart. The Tower destroys what was built on false foundations, so that something real and authentic can be built in its place. What is the Tower telling me about your situation? It is saying that there has been some kind of illusion, some kind of false belief or situation that you thought was stable but actually was not, and that illusion is about to come crashing down. Now, I know that sounds scary, but think about it this way. Would you rather live in a beautiful house that is built on sand, or would you rather have that house fall apart so you can build something real on solid ground? The Tower moment is the moment of truth. It is the moment when you can no longer pretend, when you can no longer maintain the facade, when reality breaks through all the illusions. And given that we just had the King of Swords talking about truth and clarity, the Tower is the actual moment when that truth is revealed, when the clarity comes crashing through. For some of you, this might be finding out that a situation was not what you thought it was. For others, it might be your own denial or self-deception finally breaking apart. The Tower does not allow you to hide from reality anymore. It forces you to see what is really there, and while that can be uncomfortable, it is ultimately liberating. You cannot fix a problem that you refuse to see, you cannot make good choices based on false information, and the Tower ensures that you see the truth whether you are ready for it or not. What I find really interesting is that the Tower is appearing alongside these court cards that represent clear communication and emotional wisdom. This tells me that the Tower moment, the revelation or sudden change, is going to come through a conversation or realization. Someone is going to say something that changes your entire perspective, or you are going to have a sudden moment of clarity that shifts everything. And here is the thing about the Tower. Yes, the destruction can be shocking and even painful, but what comes after the Tower is always better than what was there before. The Tower clears away the lies, the illusions, the false structures, and it makes room for something authentic. So, if you have been living in uncertainty, if you have been dealing with confusion or mixed signals, the Tower is actually your friend, because it is going to cut through all of that and show you exactly what is real. The fourth card is Knight of Cups, and this is where things get really interesting. After the Tower tears down the false structures, the Knight of Cups comes riding in with an emotional offer, a romantic gesture, or an opportunity for deep emotional connection. The Knight of Cups is the ultimate romantic of the tarot. This is someone who leads with their heart, who is not afraid to be vulnerable, who makes emotional offers and romantic gestures. What this tells me is that after the truth comes out, after the clarity arrives, after the illusions fall away, there is going to be a genuine emotional opportunity. This knight represents someone who is ready to step forward with authentic feelings, someone who wants to offer you something real. Unlike the Tower, which destroys what was false, the Knight of Cups brings what is true. This is authentic emotion, genuine interest, real romantic potential. For those of you who have been dealing with someone who was unclear about their feelings, the Knight of Cups can represent that person finally getting clear and making a real offer. This is someone moving from confusion or hesitation into clarity and action. The Knight of Cups does not just feel things. He acts on his feelings. He does not sit around wondering. He moves forward with his heart leading the way. Now I want to be clear. The Knight of Cups can sometimes be a bit idealistic or impulsive. He is so focused on the emotion of the moment that he might not always think through the practical implications. But what I love about this knight is his sincerity. When he offers something, he means it. He is not playing games, he is not testing you, he is genuinely expressing what is in his heart. This card is also telling me that you might need to be willing to be vulnerable yourself. The Knight of Cups energy is about emotional courage, about being willing to express feelings even when it feels scary. If you have been holding back emotionally, if you have been protecting yourself or playing it cool, the Knight of Cups is encouraging you to let yourself feel, let yourself want, let yourself hope. What I see happening is that after the Tower clears away the confusion and false situations, the Knight of Cups represents a fresh start emotionally. This is a new opportunity to connect authentically, to express genuine feelings, to pursue emotional fulfillment. And for Gemini, who can sometimes intellectualize emotions rather than feeling them, this knight is inviting you to lead with your heart for once. The fifth card is Eight of Wands, and when I pulled this card I actually smiled because this is momentum. After all the emotional processing and truth-telling, the Eight of Wands says things are about to move fast. This card represents swift communication, rapid developments, things suddenly clicking into place and moving forward at speed. The Eight of Wands is all those messages coming in, all those conversations happening, all those pieces falling into place quickly. If you have been waiting for something to happen, if things have felt slow or stuck, the Eight of Wands is like the universe pressing fast forward. What was stagnant starts moving. What was unclear becomes obvious. What was delayed suddenly rushes forward. Given the context of the other cards, the Eight of Wands is telling me that once the truth comes out through the Tower, once the Knight of Cups makes his emotional offer, things are going to progress quickly. This is not going to be a slow burn. This is not going to be a gradual unfolding. The Eight of Wands brings rapid movement, quick decisions, fast communication. For those of you in romantic situations, this can mean a relationship suddenly progressing to the next level. Things that were uncertain become clear. Things that were casual become serious. Things that were stuck start moving. The Eight of Wands removes obstacles and allows natural momentum to take over. It is like the universe has been holding back the floodgates and suddenly releases them, allowing everything to flow freely. I also want to mention that the Eight of Wands is associated with air signs, which includes Gemini, so this energy is particularly potent for you. This is your element. This is communication and ideas and connection flowing freely. This is conversations happening, messages being sent and received, information traveling quickly. Everything that has been held up or delayed is suddenly in motion. What I love about the Eight of Wands is that it represents things happening naturally and easily. This is not forced. This is not struggled for. This is simply the natural flow of energy when obstacles are removed. Once the truth is clear through the King of Swords, once the emotional wisdom of the Queen of Cups is applied, once the Tower clears away the false structures, once the Knight of Cups makes his offer, the Eight of Wands shows everything flowing forward smoothly. The sixth card is Page of Swords, and this is so perfect for Gemini energy. The Page of Swords is curious, communicative, eager to learn and discover truth. This page is always asking questions, always seeking information, always wanting to understand more deeply. This is mental energy that is youthful, fresh, and full of curiosity. What the Page of Swords is telling me is that there is going to be a lot of communication happening. Messages, conversations, revelations, information coming to light. This page is like a messenger, someone who brings news or information. But unlike some of the other sword cards that can be harsh, the Page of Swords has this quality of innocent curiosity. This is not communication meant to hurt. This is communication meant to discover and understand. For Gemini specifically, the Page of Swords resonates so strongly with your natural energy. You are naturally curious. You want to understand. You ask questions. You seek information. This card is validating that approach and encouraging you to keep asking, keep seeking, keep trying to understand. Do not settle for surface-level explanations. Dig deeper. Ask the questions that get to the heart of the matter. The Page of Swords can also represent you in this situation. Stepping into this energy of fearless inquiry, you have every right to ask questions, to seek clarity, to want to understand what is really going on. Do not let anyone make you feel like your need for information is unreasonable. The Page of Swords says that seeking truth and understanding is absolutely appropriate right now. What I am seeing is that you might receive unexpected news or information. The Page of Swords often brings messages that surprise you, information you were not expecting. But this information, even if it is surprising, is going to help you understand the bigger picture. It is going to be another piece of the puzzle falling into place. This page is also telling me to watch your communication. The swords are sharp, words can cut, and the Page of Swords sometimes speaks without fully considering the impact. Be curious, be direct, ask your questions, but also be mindful of how you communicate. You can seek truth without being harsh. You can be direct without being cruel. Use the emotional intelligence of the Queen of Cups to balance the mental sharpness of the Page of Swords. The seventh card is Seven of Wands, and this card shows someone standing their ground, defending their position, fighting for what they believe in. The Seven of Wands is about courage, about standing up for yourself, about not backing down even when challenged. This person in the card is outnumbered. They are facing opposition, but they are not giving up. What is the Seven of Wands telling you? It is saying that you might need to stand firm in your truth, even if others challenge you. After all this clarity comes through, after all these revelations, you might need to defend your boundaries, stand by your decisions, or hold your ground against opposition. The Seven of Wands is about having the courage to maintain your position even when it is not easy. For some of you, this might mean standing up to someone who has been unclear or manipulative. It might mean saying no to a situation that is not serving you, even if that person tries to convince you otherwise. The Seven of Wands is warrior energy. It is about fighting for yourself, protecting your own interests, refusing to be pushed around or manipulated. What I find interesting is that the Seven of Wands appears after all these cards about truth and clarity. This tells me that once you know the truth, once you have clarity, you are going to need to stand by that truth even if someone tries to convince you otherwise. Someone might try to gaslight you, someone might try to make you doubt what you know, but the Seven of Wands says no. You know what you know, you have seen what you have seen, and you do not need to justify or defend your reality to anyone. This card is also about defending your right to make your own choices. If someone does not like your decision, if someone is upset that you are standing by your boundaries, that is their problem, not yours. The Seven of Wands gives you the courage to prioritize your own well-being even when others want you to prioritize theirs instead. For Gemini specifically, this is important because you can sometimes be talked out of what you know to be true. Someone presents a convincing argument and you start to doubt yourself. Someone gives a plausible explanation and you second-guess your own perceptions. The Seven of Wands says, stop doing that. Trust what you know, stand by what you have learned, defend your own truth. The eighth card is Six of Pentacles, and after all this intensity, after all this fighting and defending, the Six of Pentacles brings balance and fairness. This card is about giving and receiving in equal measure, about resources being shared fairly, about generosity balanced with boundaries. The figure in this card is giving to those who need, but he is doing so from a position of stability. He is not giving away so much that he depletes himself. What the Six of Pentacles is telling me is that after all the truth-telling and boundary setting, there is going to be an opportunity for balanced exchange. This might be in a relationship where both people are finally giving and receiving equally. This might be in a work situation where you are finally being compensated fairly for your efforts. This might be in any area of life where resources, energy, time, or attention are being exchanged. The Six of Pentacles asks you to look at the balance in your relationships and situations. Are you giving more than you are receiving? Are you constantly the one making effort while others take without reciprocating? Or conversely, are you taking without giving back? The Six of Pentacles wants equilibrium. It wants fairness. It wants both people contributing to the exchange. What I love about this card appearing here is that it shows the outcome of all this clarity and boundary setting is actually balance. When you stand in your truth through the Seven of Wands, when you stop accepting less than you deserve, the Six of Pentacles shows that fair and balanced situations become possible. You attract reciprocity when you stop accepting one-sided dynamics. This card can also represent someone making amends, someone trying to balance the scales after a period of unfairness. If someone has been taking you for granted or not reciprocating your energy, the Six of Pentacles can show them recognizing this and making efforts to correct the imbalance. This is someone trying to give back, trying to show appreciation, trying to restore equilibrium. For those of you in financial situations, the Six of Pentacles is particularly positive. This is money coming in, resources being shared, opportunities for prosperity, but it is not just about receiving. It is about being in a position where you can give as well. The Six of Pentacles is abundance that flows both ways, generosity that comes from a place of security rather than depletion. The ninth card is Five of Wands, and this might seem contradictory after the harmony of the Six of Pentacles, but let me explain what I am seeing. The Five of Wands is about conflict, competition, people with different agendas all pushing for their own interests. But here is what is interesting. The conflict in the Five of Wands is not usually serious or dangerous. It is more like sparring or competitive disagreement. What the Five of Wands is telling me is that even after all this clarity and truth, there might still be some friction or disagreement. Maybe different people in your life have different opinions about what you should do. Maybe you are getting conflicting advice. Maybe there is still some chaos or confusion even after things have started to become clear. The Five of Wands says, that is normal. That is part of the process. Not everyone is going to agree with your choices. Not everyone is going to understand why you are standing by your boundaries. Some people might challenge you. Some might argue with you. Some might try to convince you that you are wrong. The Five of Wands shows this conflict, but it also shows that this conflict is ultimately not that serious. These are not enemies. These are people with different perspectives having heated discussions. For Gemini, the Five of Wands can also represent the conflict within your own mind. You are an air sign. You can see multiple perspectives. You can argue both sides of any issue. Sometimes this gift becomes a curse because you can talk yourself in and out of anything. The Five of Wands might be showing internal conflict, your own thoughts and ideas competing with each other, making it hard to find clarity. What I think is important here is that the Five of Wands appears late in the reading, which tells me that by this point you already have your truth from the King of Swords, your emotional wisdom from the Queen of Cups, your clarity from the Tower. So even if there is conflict or disagreement shown by the Five of Wands, you are not going into it blind. You already know what you know, and external chaos does not have to shake your internal certainty. The 10th and final card is Queen of Pentacles, and this is such a beautiful card to end on. The Queen of Pentacles is grounded, practical, nurturing, and abundant. She has created security for herself, she knows how to take care of her own needs, and she does so with grace and wisdom. This queen is not just surviving, she is thriving. She has built something real and stable, and she maintains it with care and attention. What the Queen of Pentacles is telling me is that the ultimate outcome of all of this, the truth-telling, the boundary setting, the conflicts and the resolutions, is that you emerge in a position of stability and security. The Queen of Pentacles is you stepping into your power, becoming the person who is grounded in reality, who takes care of their own needs, who builds something lasting and real. This queen does not need anyone to rescue her or complete her. She is whole and abundant on her own, and from that place of security, she can choose to share her life with others, but she does not need others to be okay. This is such powerful energy for you to be moving toward, Gemini. This is you becoming unshakable, becoming practical and grounded in ways that might not come naturally to air sign energy, but that serve you incredibly well. The Queen of Pentacles also represents creating something tangible. After all the mental energy of the swords and the passionate energy of the wands and the emotional energy of the cups, the pentacles bring everything down to earth. What are you actually building? What are you creating that is real and lasting? The Queen of Pentacles asks you to focus on the practical outcome, on creating actual stability in your life. This queen is also deeply nurturing, both to herself and to others. She knows that you cannot pour from an empty cup, so she takes care of her own needs first. She nourishes herself, she rests when she needs to, she maintains her own well-being, and from that place of being full and nourished, she can nurture others. This is such an important lesson, especially if you have been depleting yourself trying to take care of others or manage chaotic situations. What I see as the final message is that you are moving toward a place of real security and abundance. All of this truth-telling and clarity-seeking is not just drama for the sake of drama, it is clearing the way for you to build something real. The Queen of Pentacles is the reward for doing the hard work of facing truth, setting boundaries, standing your ground. You emerge from all of this stronger, more grounded, more secure, and more abundant. So, let me bring all of this together for you. Someone is going to clear up your doubts through honest communication represented by the King of Swords. This will be balanced with emotional intelligence shown by the Queen of Cups. A truth or revelation will come through that might feel shocking, shown by the Tower. But this clears the way for authentic emotional connection, represented by the Knight of Cups. Things will start moving quickly with the Eight of Wands. Information will flow through the Page of Swords, and you will need to stand your ground shown by the Seven of Wands. This leads to balanced reciprocity with the Six of Pentacles, even though there might be some conflict or chaos indicated by the Five of Wands. Ultimately, you emerge in a position of security and abundance as the Queen of Pentacles. This reading feels so personal because it is addressing the exact doubts and questions you have been carrying. Someone is going to step forward with clarity, whether that is another person or your own inner wisdom finally breaking through. And that clarity is going to change everything. It might be uncomfortable in the moment, the Tower moments usually are, but what comes after is so much better than what you have been dealing with. Trust your mind, trust your heart, trust your intuition. You have the King of Swords clarity, the Queen of Cups emotional wisdom, and you are becoming the Queen of Pentacles in your own life. That is powerful. That is exactly where you need to be.